Hi guys, hope you're all doing good. This is my track by track guide for Warrior in the Clouds Part 2. Today I'll be talking about the single Your Delusion, Your Deception. And I did this last time with Warrior in the Clouds Part 1, going through all the tracks, but this time I decided to do them individually due to the single, and also we can make them nice short and snappy videos. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for more content like this, rock and metal guitar stuff as well. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, which is awesome, and I thanks everyone for all your support. And now let's get into the track. Okay, Your Delusion, Your Deception. I wrote this around 19 or 20 years old, a couple of years ago now. Probably one of the most recent tracks on the EP actually. And as soon as I had the idea for this song, I wanted it as a single, whether it had been for the whole album or for the, for this EP, which I have done. It just always had that single vibe to me. It was massively influenced by Satriani, obviously that Surfing with the Alien, the Extremist style in there. A lot of 80s hard rock and metal as well, like Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, and all sorts of stuff like that. I kind of wanted this song to be like a mashup of Joe Satriani meets AC/DC meets 80s rock and metal, and I think I fulfilled that with this track. I took the inspiration from Joe Satriani having leads throughout, almost mimicking like a vocal line throughout the verses and the chorus, and then having like the main lead solo in the middle of the song, at the main centre point of the song. Also, just to add, this song was actually going to be the title track for the whole album, but during the writing and creative process of putting this album together, I decided to go with Warrior in the Clouds, hence it's called Warrior in the Clouds. To keep the song interesting, I added a lot of like subtle changes throughout, like different kind of subtle riff changes throughout the verses, and that was sort of like a late change because I just felt it was a little bit lacking in variety. The earlier versions of the song sort of sounded a little bit dull and boring, so I wanted to just add some little like changes throughout to keep it more interesting. And also, the interesting thing about this song, the actual riff behind the main solo in the middle of the song was originally going to be the opening main riff, but I come up with the other riff instead and thought that was a stronger riff to use throughout the song. The recording was pretty straightforward. Once we found the right time signatures, Kim was able to just put the drums down pretty quickly. I remember we got this track done pretty quick with all the, rhythms and the leads. It was pretty fun recording all them leads. The main guitar solo I actually did in 2 parts. I tried doing it all in 1 part, but it just wasn't working out. So we split it into, so it kind of sounds like 2 guitarists, like the first solo and the second solo with 2 different guitarists going on. So yeah, it was really fun recording this song, and Alfie and Kim did an awesome job for the production. I honestly think this is the best production on any of my tracks so far, and I'm really happy with how the song turned out. Now I'm going to talk about the title, the meaning behind it, and everything about that. To be honest, I struggled with the title. It was originally going to be called For Your Delusion, and during the writing process, recording process, we shortened it to Your Delusion. And then I kind of come up with the idea of maybe calling it Your Deception. So I was struggling what to call it until we kind of decided to put the 2 together as like Your Delusion, Your Deception, and I think it works really well. So yeah, originally I wanted it to represent people who have gotten in my way over the last couple of years. Halted me, not stopped me, but kind of halted me from wanting to do this as a career, thinking that it's just not worth it. The title of the song being in second person, almost like it's being directed at me from those people, you know, talking about my delusion of doing this as a career, wanting to do this. So, you know, I thought the song is like being like for your delusion, talking to me. This song is for your delusion. And then we had the name change. So I kind of come up with the concept. You know, we had this idea of the concept being like a two-sided mindset, like the internal struggle of wanting to do this as a career, the up and downs that brings. So we took the original idea and having that as like the negative side of myself, you know, and the other side being the positive side, you know, wanting to go for it while I still can. So, you know, the cautious, apprehensive side of myself is saying like this song is for your delusion, and the positive, determined side of me is saying that's your deception, trying to get the better of me, and you won't win because I'll do this. So the new single, Your Delusion, Your Deception, is out now. It's available on my YouTube channel. It's available on all streaming platforms such as Spotify and iTunes, etc. Go check it out if you haven't already, and if you have, then thanks ever so much. And thanks for watching.